Regarding the program chat, what do we think about the theme for next week? Has anyone got any suggestions? I had this kind of. So yeah, I mean, we said we could do a week on quadratic voting. I think might be a good idea. Where what might be better is if we analyse some of this data first before then, so we've got something more concrete to present. Because we've got quite a rich set of data. We've been doing quadratic voting live for quite some time. I think there's some more than other people have. And we've got we could do it for next week. This could be the prompt to let's present some outputs from our data so far. What do we think? Yeah. So actually, we've got the outputs from. I was half thinking, should we just loop back to we've done these themes that have largely been across our different dApps. We could just cycle back around them again and go back to markets. Yeah. So maybe it's time to do that next week then. So theme of the week is quadratic voting. Does that feel good to people?
Sounds good to me.
Yuvi, shall we? So we need like a tent-pole session. I think we'll have to do between now and say like next Thursday is work on a really solid presentation of starting from what quadratic voting is through to all of our evidence and data that we've done something interesting. Do we have time to work on that, do you think?
Yeah, I think I could get something out. We could look at I could put it in pandas and see what I can squeeze out of it.
I think we'll need to do a fair amount of collaboration. We could just do quite a lot of it live. So one of the things I was talking to Matt about earlier, we've got a bunch of writing that needs doing. One of which is introduction to DAOs for this. We've got this idea of having a newsletter that's there to catch, hey, you might have bought some FET. What's a DAO? Do you know what I mean? I've heard DAOs are cool. And then it's a little 5-letter introduction of what DAOs are, why they're interesting, and the different ideas going on in it. And I was thinking on the Tuesday of basically writing that live. Like literally, I'll do a collaborative writing session on the Tuesday. I don't know if people think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm open to that.
It might not be the most exciting thing because it'll just be like me watching. So I did for 2 years, I ran courses on academic writing. So I would train master's students how to write at master's level. I did it using collaborative writing as a means to do it. So we can put a little workshop on where we get people to go and find, basically part of it is let's go find a load of DAO sources. Like what are the best articles, ideas, all that sort of stuff to talk about DAOs, and then we synthesize it into a narrative.
This sounds like it could be fun. Collaborative storytelling.
Yeah, collaborative. Let's call it DAO collaborative writing workshop. And that'll be on the kind of focus day on the Tuesday. And it'll, like, if I'm going to write, how many, was it 500 word pieces, Matt? 2,500 words, can probably do that in 3 hours. I'll need lots of coffee, but we can do it from, let's say, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday. See how far we get. Yeah. So it'll be like, let's find some cool images on X. Let's find some sources on this. And then I'll basically go through them live. And when you start to crack it, sometimes it takes a few sessions. So part of the outcome would be like, I will teach you how to write academically. So part of it will be like, go away and write a paragraph on this. And everyone goes and writes a paragraph on the same thing. And then we go and interpret and synthesize them into a single paragraph. And then we have part of the thing on structure. So teach how to structure and focus and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be like a writing, teach you how to write session as well as a learn about DAOs session. Do you know what we could, dovetailing into that, if we are going to teach people how to write, why don't we have a essay competition or something like that? Write about DAOs and do a little competition on it.
Can you hear me?
Ricardo, yes. Yeah.
I just want to say this sounds fun. I started just out of curiosity. I started my life as a copywriter, so I've been there.
I love your feedback on this thing because like there's academic writing and there's copywriting. It's two different.
Yeah.
two different skills.
Yeah.
I'd be
And it
very
was actually
interested.
quite a challenge. It was actually quite a challenge for me to switch to academic writing for the masters and PhDs. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's proving a challenge for me to do the other way around. So we'll learn from each other a little bit for turning up for some of that. And my propensity is to write thorough but long and complicated documents that fully explain things on a kind of level 7 sort of level. When actually what the market wants is really punchy, smaller stuff. So I think I like the idea of a essay competition, essentially. Yeah, 500 words on DAOs. And yeah, we can stick a decent bounty on it. We can run it on our creative content thing. Use the same strategy was used as creative content. I think what we can do is, again, some people just aren't into writing. We want a visual one as well. So let's use next week as so certainly what the Stoner Cats are up to as well. They're about to do a very complex creative project where they're going to start, like, their goal is to influence this, the Hollywood production company. Like, how do you work with a group of creators? They've got to suggest creative content, come up with their own creative content. We've done bits of it. So I think we need to dog food that creative DAO, creative NFT DAO work as well. So we can support them they're going to take it further than we do, probably. But I think starting with something nice and simple like meme contest, which we've done before, but meme contest, essay contest, let's start them next week and get it in the program. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We need a to-do list with permissions, really, don't we? Yeah. Okay, so next week it's on quadratic voting. The DAO thing, I guess the writing that we'll do will have at least one. We'll have a 10-poll piece on what is quadratic voting. Then that'll dovetail into that nicely. They'll have some broader DAO stuff, but it's a Tuesday writing session. What shall we call it? Collaborative writing? DAO collaborative writing workshop? Yeah, we'll let Ksenia run with it. So Monday morning we'll have the strategy open again on the stages. Let's do that behind with the citizen gates next week. Do you agree on that one? ID holders. Yeah, ID holders. Citizen stage. Let's set the citizen stage in the ID holders section. And that's where we'll do the strategy meeting on Monday morning. Monday afternoon, we'll do the previously on finance.vote session that we talked about but haven't managed to land yet, and use that as an opportunity as an onboarding, anyone who wants catching up on everything that's happened so far. So that feels like Monday and Tuesday done. Wednesday, we've got Navid's imagination time, and we'll do another Twitter Spaces, and that's enough for Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I won't dovetail it on, so I can. What tends to happen with the Twitter Spaces thing, they seem to pick up momentum. Do you know what I mean? It's the longer it lives there, the longer it picks up people, and we rugged it all at 2 p.m. after an hour. It was nice to have it quite tight, but I think probably 2 hours is the right block for Twitter Spaces. Same time. Yeah. Do it straight after imagination time. 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then Thursday, UV and I will present a session on quadratic voting, including we'll relay some of Shift Run Stop's analysis on markets, how we've used quadratic voting, what it is, why it's interesting. We'll do an overview of the London experiment, markets and influence. We'll showcase the Stoner Cats vote because it's a really excellent vote, and maybe set a new one up at that point. Say that again. Yeah, we'll use from the Peter Pan's thing. So why don't we set that vote up this week? We'll talk about this later at the 3:00 session if you want. And set that vote up. We'll set that vote up and the Telegram round-off vote, and we'll reach consensus on that. Yeah, the outcomes of those, what we'll do is we'll conclude the votes during that session. So we can see the outcome of a vote. ending live at the end of that session. Say, look, this is our DAO coming to conclusion on these things. The Telegram one's a good one because we've had this yes, no, and it actually shows the limitations of yes, no. It came up, yes, kill the Telegram, but people aren't happy about it. There's no consensus. So the follow-up is we do a quadratic vote on it and show that actually there's an outcome that people are happy with. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see if that is the case. Yeah. I think we set up those votes this afternoon. 2 votes. We'll design them at 3 o'clock today. So that's our tentpole session for the week. Thursday, UV and I are going to present. It'll be quite a detailed theoretical session with evidence on our use of quadratic voting. Yeah, we can send that to some people who are like interested in quadratic voting. It's like we've got data and evidence and a year's worth of it in some cases, and its efficacy as a DAO governance tool. Then you want to put the program chat in the same slot this time next week. Then it's the future of work and community call on Friday, isn't it? Do we think we've landed the program? Yeah. Yeah, we'll try not double book ourselves this week. This is one of the things, I think it's great that we're getting this earlier and earlier, this conversation about next week, because it allows us to actually tame the chaos a little bit. Yeah, because all of a sudden after DeFi Live, I've got dozens of people trying to get in touch. 10 people messaged me this morning saying, can I have a chat? So it's getting a bit crazy. So yeah, fixing this now is a good idea. And then we'll set up, are we still doing the calendar thing where people can update their calendars? Cool. So let's do that. Let's see if we can land that on the program today. That'd be outstanding. We'd have it a week in advance. Everyone can get the calendars ready. Yuvi's gone now, but I'm going to volunteer him for this. Like I did the one with Naomi, I'll do a chat with Yuvi if he's available. Just need to okay it. We'll do Yuvi's origin story in crypto at the community call next Friday. That'll be an interesting one. Yuvi's been in Bitcoin since like 2013 or something crazy. He's been around the block. So yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, let's do it. In fact, just give me 2 seconds to get a glass of water.
Again?
There's a new series of that coming out soon, isn't there? Yeah, no, it doesn't get shit after a while.
DAO dystopia. Yeah, but it felt
I
like
feel
it was
like we
sort
should
of
be. I don't want to piss on everyone's parade at the moment.
like.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's, oh my god, DAOs are amazing, and everyone's tailed around it. Let's all throw money in this pot and we'll buy the Constitution. Everyone's so excited and haven't even begun to think about the implications of it all yet. Yeah, it's the way I'm starting to look at it is it's we've discovered fire. We've done the whole history of humanity again, from like discovering fire and then going from like the Bronze Age, the Stone Age into the Bronze Age. And the market is just like adolescent. We're all kids in the playground, swapping dog tokens and playing Pogs, Trumps and Pogs, which is cool. Like I absolutely loved playing Pogs when I was a kid and swapping cards around, and I'm pretty damn sure kids are still doing it today. But the market as a whole, like the distribution of people in the market, we're at the adolescent stage. It's like someday crypto's going to grow up. You know what I mean? The fact that we're like a $2.5 trillion market and we're still kids is like pretty damn bullish, to be honest. The kids are just playing around. But yeah, there's like some growing up to do. A big part of that is to understand the political and social implications of DAOs, but the world ain't ready for it yet, to be quite honest. I think let's just let people enjoy it for a bit.
Oh, Nick, it's very good.
Yeah, let's let
Nick,
it. Sorry,
Nick, it's very good to hear you say that. It's very good to hear you say that. So, like, I don't want to. What I hear in these sessions here, it's like adults in the room. It's interesting. So, and it's something I've rarely seen in the last few years.
And this is why we're number 1,700 in CoinGecko. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're the adults in the playground at the moment. But we've made some toys for the playground. We've made some Pogs, which is a little Trojan horse to introduce quadratic democracy onto the world. We've got our friends over at Stoner Cat sneaking in quadratic voting, digital democracy through digital cats, which is like just absolutely dream come true. Yeah, I think the market's going to grow up. I'm hoping we just don't need a brutal bear market to make it happen. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what happened in 2017. Is that it would just got so awash with scams and greedy bastards bleeding retail investors dry. It all just ended in a catastrophic blow up and everyone got wrecked and it just all went to sleep for 3 years. We don't want that again.
There's the other side of this. Yeah, of course, adults can be terribly boring and stop innovating very quickly, and that's the other side of it.
Absolutely, and it's taken a fair amount of critical reflection on our part and like I'm looking at our Shibaku Discord. That's our little parallel world over there. That looks like a fun place to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're doing it, and yeah, it's been tough pills to swallow. That, to be quite honest, but yeah, give the market what it wants. Yeah, let's review it then, because we're going to be back on in an hour and a half anyway, aren't we? To come with some content for that. Let's do 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I'll have a full on. No one can write for more than 3 hours solid anyway. It's writing club next week. Yeah. And that's anyone who wants to learn how to learn about DAOs whilst learning how to do some academic writing. I don't think academic writing is the right word. It's just it's a writing workshop. Tune up your writing skills and take part in a DAO essay writing competition. Oh, no, I think that's not a repeated one. That's just this week. Yes, that's the Thursday one is the quadratic voting presentation. We'll want 2 hours for that. Yeah, we'll have to do it early, so you're going to have to switch around the program chat to another time, maybe earlier. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's very hard to detect what's good because we want people there. So I don't know what it's what's good for the crowd. So there's like a range that. Do you know what we could do? So, yeah, we're almost there.
Okay, great. I'm a bit late. I just had to take a break. I can't do back-to-back calls. My brain just gives up.
Yeah, we're nearly done. Theme of next week is quadratic voting. Tentpole stuff is Tuesday. I'm going to do a writing. It's writing rather than reading club.
That's awesome. I really wanted to write actually for the whole week. I'm in the mood, and yeah.
So I've run collaborative writing workshops for years before. So I'm going to run one for 3 hours on Tuesday. People can dip in and out, but I'll teach people some writing in structure and we'll collaboratively research. On Thursday, UV and I are going to do a proper keynote style lecture on quadratic voting. Is there anything else you wanted to tighten up, Matt?
I'm just still trying to sit at my computer. Who is typing? I can type, or I can type.
Yeah,
Matt can type.
Spaces again on Wednesday. 2 hours this time. Yeah, I've put a thing in the general. Let's see if people have a pick your poison on that one. Oh, mind you, imagination time's at 12 p.m, isn't it? Oh no, that's Thursday, so it can be any of them. So anyone who's in the call, go and pick which time you think a 2-hour lecture would be best for on Thursday by doing an emote on any of those 3 times. What was that, Marta? Sorry? In the general channel.
Sure.
Okay, so let's leave that running for an hour or 2 and then land that time on that. Yeah, a cool little announcement. All we need is the very brief bits for what we really need is that image, the timetable image. Yeah, that'd be sweet if we get it correct today.
So we have everything, all the announcements. I just take the text I used already, and then the new things we have is the writing club and the keynote speech about voting. Okay.
Yeah.
About quadratic voting.
Yeah. It's a race to what gets in my calendar first, so that's why it's good to
Actually,
get in.
I wanted to do a vote on Nick's behavior, with tags like research, writing, social media, chatting in Discord, resting, and we can have these tags and just let people vote, and then
it'll just come out pumping the token will be just pump the token, Nick.
Shilling DAOs in like on the
Shill
street
DAOs.
to people. Yeah. Like I can imagine you flying on the streets of London. Do you want a DAO? Do you want a DAO, sir? Do you want a DAO?
I like the idea of a bit of DAO punk street art.
Like this kind of series of us interviewing the team, right?
Yeah.
I got away with mine because it was something happened. An interview of me didn't happen. I was like so super happy.
We can do you next week.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be interviewed.
And
Yeah.
one day, I'm going to pin you down on that. We need to do it. I want your origin story. It'll happen. I'm going to try and coax Louis out of his citadel as well. Yeah. A break for an hour and a half. I'm going to try and do some writing in prep for that.
We have this community call thing. No, it's in
Growing
1.5
community.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like ideas that we want to. It's just more community engagement strategies, specifically with dragging in new people as a focus. And I want those ideas to come from the community. So again, I think we can come up with a little competition for adoption strategies. But let's talk about that then.
Okay.
Fred, let's do a at everyone announcement on the growing the community.
Yeah, I usually do the all sentience, but actually maybe some people that are important are not.
And give us some ideas to grow the community, nice and simple.
Okay.
And I have a question.
Sure.
If there are a couple things where I think I would be able to help and that I'm interested in doing, what should I do?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's specifically what we're angling for on that session, really, is an opportunity for people to say, yeah, I want to get involved. What shall we do?
Actually, this whole idea of the session came out of our discussion in community call, because remember we discussed, Ricardo, we discussed community engagement strategies, and it clicked, and I thought we should do a session on that. So yeah, that's exactly, because it seemed to me when we then started talking about it, it seemed to me that we don't pay enough attention to this.
Yeah. And it's like that whole piece around landing the messaging that's a bit less intellectual and a little bit more outreachy. It's like an outreach conversation.
But also like about audiences, about like specific actions we can do, and so on.